you might be on camera live. So we ain't ready to start the show yet. But I want you to know that we are there. Now, am I showing up sideways? Make sure I'm not. That's what my concern is. Because that's how it was last time I did something. All right. Oh, we good. We good. We on? Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to find it on so I can share it on my page.
All you got to do is go to my page and share. John Paul Basile is like, Johnathan! What's up, John Paul? How you doing? Man, you pull. John Paul is world famous now, man. What is he like, the NBA super spokesperson from around the world? You gotta mute it, though. You have to mute it.
Oh, yeah. I'm not even gonna be on.
All right, what's up, people? How y'all feeling out there? I'm gonna need everybody to take a moment and share the video. Take a moment, share the video. This is about to be a fun night. Y'all see I got my coffee. I got him with his culotta. We about to get it crack-a-lacking. Let's build this audience around the world. Around the world. Look at that, Johnathan. You are world famous.
I'm famous?
You famous, man. You's famous.
Have I gone viral yet?
Man, we not viral yet, but we gonna go viral before it's all over tonight. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it cracking. Let's get it going.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You are tuned in to the...
Thank you.
You are tuned in to the most greatest, to the most bestest, to the greatest, to the biggest, to the baddest. You are tuned in to the most greatest. Whoop. Oh, he's in Beverly Hills. John Paul is in Beverly. Now you balling out, John Paul. Somewhere. Don't forget the little people, man. Do not forget the little people. Can we get some tickets at least? You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. It's getting ready to go down. We got 3 minutes. You got me a theme song going on. Derek, I done merged all my Facebook pages, so we got to go back and update the Maze Jackson page because I have taken Let's Talk with Maze Jackson, Talk It Out with Maze and Monique. All of those have been merged into the Maze Jackson page, so we need to go back and revamp it because I think I may have messed up and got one of the things. Hey, everybody out there live in Facebook land on www.intellectualradio.com. I need you to do me a favor. Go down there to that button right over there and hit share. Please share the broadcast. Can you kill the... It's an echo?
It's too loud. It's too loud.
Right? Okay. Everybody take a moment and share the broadcast.
Bring your mic one more time.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Too much feedback.
Okay.
Hello? Testing, one, two.
One more time. I think you guys are good.
All right, everybody out there, I need you to do me a favor. Please share the broadcast. Earl, does this look good? I feel like
yeah, you good. No, it's good. That's good.
All right.
It's good.
Yeah, nah, we got 2 minutes. Let's 2 minutes. Let them get there behind the scenes. Let's see who's tuned in.
Yes,
everybody, all I got is 2 shares. And that's all I'm good for is 2 shares? Really? I'm only good for 2 shares? All right. We have Maze Jackson live intellectual radio with Johnathan Lee Iverson. Does anybody notice anything different? Y'all don't notice anything different? Nobody even paid any attention? I just been right. I got a shave going on.
Why do you do that, man?
Huh? I had to get back to my boyish good looks, man. You know what I'm saying? I was starting to feel like I was starting to get old, man. People were starting to treat me, huh? Did I miss it? Did I miss something?
All right. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You know, every time I shave, I think of that song on Popeye when Olive Oyl used to say, "I want a clean shaven man. I want a clean shaven man." Okay, y'all.
My wife got one.
Yeah, you got a fresh shave.
Let's go.
Right, Earl? It seems like the clock done turned. Let's get it cracking. My coffee is kicked in. I'm ready to do it. I need everybody in Facebook world to share the broadcast. I need you to take a moment and share the broadcast. Do that for me if you don't mind. And Earl, can I get some theme music? Intern, what's going on? Can we get the Twitter going on? We're going to get it cracking tonight. It is on and popping. At some point, we're going to need to get a battery on that phone because it's going to die. So, you know the effects. Earl, can we get some theme music?
What's going on, man?
What's the deal? Keep it real. I want it full price. Hold your deal. Let's chop it up quick. I gotta bust a move. Fact check the shatty patty sounding like fools. Tie around my neck, still take them all to school. Don't be fooled by the shiny looking dress.
She wrote that. That's her performance. Seriously? Yeah.
Your intern?
That's my cousin too.
For real? It's alright, man. That's alright, man.
Little.
I was like, man, I wonder how much you gotta pay for this song.
Hey. We get them exposure. Come out.
Do it for the Lord.
I need. What's up, Chicago? What's up, world? It's your man, Maze Jackson. Live. I am back at Intellectual Radio. I am ready to celebrate Native American. You know what? We got sponsors tonight. So this is your man, Maze Jackson, live in the building, www.intellectual radio. We are an iHeart radio station, and you are tuned into the MazeSaid video podcast. And tonight, I am honored to have in the studio as my special guest. Not only is this brother my birthday twin, right? January 30th, 1971. Right there, you know what I'm saying, doing our thing. Birthday twin, Aquarius. He is also the ringmaster for the greatest show on earth. Now, you know what? Now, y'all know how I am, and you know what kind of show I do. You know me, I am Maze, Mr. What's in it for the black people. Right? And so let me do this now. Because I almost got offended with my super producer Earl today when he made a mistake on who the greatest show on earth is. Now let me just make sure so that the whole entire world is clear, because y'all know I am Mr. What's in it for the black people. But the greatest show on earth is Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, and I'm not, that's no diss to anybody else, but from the time that I was out, my mom say knee high to a grasshopper, we always went to Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. If you remember, it was at the old amphitheater way back in the day. I remember it used to be King Charles Troop. If you remember, they used to ride around on the unicycles, dunking basketballs, and I just used to think it was awesome. And they used to have those spark guns that you would squeeze and get, and you would get one gift. Anyway, I'm going through nostalgia. Because, ladies and gentlemen, right now we are sitting next to history. So, Johnathan Lee Iverson is the ringmaster, first in history, ringmaster for the greatest show on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving a big round of applause to Johnathan Lee Iverson, ringmaster of the greatest show on earth. Come on, y'all. Everybody in Facebook land, give me some love, give me some likes. Let's say what's up to my man, Johnathan Lee Iverson. Johnathan, what's going on, man? How are you feeling today?
I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much for having me, man. I can't believe I finally made it onto your show. I've been begging you to be on the show forever. But, we got to keep it safe because, my employer...
Let's just say this. So let me start. let me start here. This is going to be for everybody out here, this is going to be a very family friendly and family oriented show. Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus. I am Mr. What's in it for the black people, and I just want to say to my audience before we get started, not only am I sitting next to the first black ringmaster, I say black African American ringmaster in the how many year history, Johnathan?
146 years.
In 146 years, Johnathan Lee Iverson is the first ringmaster in history, black ringmaster in history. But let me say this. It has to be at least, you've had to be that for at least 15 years, on and off at least.
18 years.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, Ringling Brothers has been my client for 15 years.
Yeah.
At the greatest show on earth. And so, before there was a What's in it for the black people, before there was Maze Jackson, the wild and crazy guy, the political guy, I was a marketing guy. And Ringling Brothers 15 years ago recognized the need to reach out and market to the African American, to the black community. I'm talking on my show. So, to the black community. And I was suspect, and I was, they not for real. And they wanted us to do. But you know what? They made a dedicated commitment to reaching out to our community. We were on the road in 28 cities around the country doing marketing programs for Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus. So I want to make sure that my listening audience understand, because you know what? I talk a lot of smack and I will beat you down if you do not represent for my community. But when you do, black, white, Asian, Latino, when you stand up and you do the right thing in our community, I want to make sure that you get acknowledged for that. So, Johnathan, you know what? I'm going to stop. We'll weave some of that stuff in. So, Johnathan, let's just get it started. Let's talk about, so what are you doing in town? Tell us a little bit about what's going on in the show, etc. Let's get the work out.
Well, absolutely. We're in Chicagoland for our usual run that happens around this time of the year. We've been here for 3 weeks now. We're preparing to do the McDonald's Thanksgiving Parade this Thursday. And we'll be closing out at the United Center November 27th. So we have one more week here. Chicago being one of my favorite cities. I love this city. I was married in the city right after a morning show on November 15th, 2001. So this is the city I go broke in. I enjoy myself. I always go to Carnivale restaurant with my wife, and we celebrate our anniversary, and it also happens to be her birthday in the same month. So I have no money in the month of November. But fortunately, I'm working. And I'm having a lot of fun. I love Chicago, and I've actually toured it more than I usually do. My aunt lives out here, so she just writes me, you better be here for Thanksgiving. So I'm on my way there for Thanksgiving this Thursday. But we've been having a great time. The audiences, as usual, are wonderful. They're dynamic. They're diverse. As our audiences are, everybody loves a circus. Everybody loves a circus. I don't think we really have a demographic. To be honest with you, I see all sorts of people in that audience every time we go out there. And their reaction is universal. It's the ahs and oohs and the covering their faces because they can't believe the thrills that are going on. And this is quite a new endeavor for us as a company. This is the first time we've had a show without our legendary elephants for we're going to talk
about that. So
yes.
Save that. Save that because I want to talk about that because I like the elephants. Peter, Mr. Elephants. Anyway, so Johnathan, tell us about the actual show. So it seems as though there's some transformations and some new things going on, exciting. You got a lot. This is a little different circus this year. What's going on?
Absolutely, very different. We now have employed ice. We have ice skaters now, and the show is built around a theme. We've never had a show theme before, storyline, and the storyline is basically good versus evil and friendship lost and regained, and in between that you have a lot of adventures going on. And basically the premise is when I was a child, and me and my buddy Davis Facello, who's a fourth generation clown by the way, you know, it's based on us being little kids, and this star seeker comes all the way to Earth, and he's looking for a ringmaster, and he chooses me. Now, the little me is actually played by my son, which is rather surreal.
Wait, what?
Yeah, my
hold
son.
Hold on. So, your son is actually in the circus playing you?
Yeah, that's right. His first gig.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he get paid for that?
Absolutely.
Hey, once again, so that's two out of 4. What's in it for the black people? 2 out of 4 people out of the Iverson family are getting paid from the circus. So your son plays you as a child.
Yeah.
It's like some Will Smith action.
No, you know, I have to make correction. All the Iversons are getting paid. And my wife is...
Wait, what?
Yeah, my wife is the production manager, so she's my boss in the show. So
and your show and man, you don't catch a break, do you?
Yeah, my daughter is my son's understudy. So it's a lot of fun. It's funny. So, you know, you have the storyline where, you know, these two friends, they're together, and I get chosen and I get mentored and taken with the star seeker. And then there's the wicked Queen Tatiana, who comes out and seduces Davis, and she takes him on as her Padawan, so to speak. And we grow up, and we do our thing. We're on our way back to Earth after many years of traveling the galaxy, and suddenly Tatiana steals all of our acts and hides them away on these fictional planets. The sand planet, the water planet, ice planet, you name it. And so basically me and Paolo, the star seeker, my mentor, we have to go all over the galaxy and find everyone. And within that, you have all of these dynamic acts happening. Alexander Lacey, all the way from Great Britain with his Lions and Tigers. He was just recently featured on Nightline. You have, of course, one of the most dynamic acts you'll ever see anywhere. Is crazy. The Torres Globe of Steel, 8 motorcycles, up to 8 motorcycles inside a 16-foot sphere. It's amazing. We have the Cossack riding troupe, these amazing acrobats and their horses. We have, of course, the world's greatest menagerie. People got nervous when we didn't have the elephants, but we still have the world's greatest menagerie of animals. And it's a lot of fun. Hans Klose is featured there with his rescue dogs and pigs and you name it. We have the funniest clowns in the world. Clown Alley is still there. We have for the first
Now hold on. I gotta ask.
Yeah.
I gotta ask. So how's the Clown Alley going off with all the crazy clown action going on in the world? How's the clown? How's the Clown Alley going?
No, they're just going to do their thing. I think audiences are still responding positively to clowns. I think people know better. I think, people put stuff out there just to distract
You know
folks.
what? Ringling always has, like, the funny, nice-looking clowns. There are some scary clowns.
True. That's true.
But they always have, like, the fun, lovely, like kind of engaging clowns. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure you check that out. Check out Clown Alley. What is your favorite act in the show?
I don't have a favorite act. I mean, I've always been intrigued by the Globe of Steel, of course, since I was a kid. That's always been one. But, every day it changes, I mean, 1 minute it's the Heilongjiang troupe all the way from China. They're this ice skating acrobatic troupe they will blow your mind. They're amazing. I didn't know you could do what they do on ice. It's amazing. And then, it may be Alexander Lacey one day. It may be just watching Paolo, who's a freakish, incredible athlete. I mean, he can do everything. He's only 4 foot tall, but, I mean, he literally can do anything. I mean, he's like a mini Superman. It's wonderful to watch him. There's also Davis Vassallo, who's amazing. He's very funny, and he's a daredevil himself. So there's just so much there that, I mean, the show just never gets old. And sometimes it's just watching our live band. We have a live band. They're the hardest working band in show business.
You know what? I always wondered, why did they have a live band? But I think I figured it out. So the live band is because everything in the act doesn't necessarily, it's live. Right. So you can't, if the guy has to do an extra flip, the drummer has to keep playing. Because you can't just jump when the DJ says, right?
Absolutely. The drummer gets busy when the horses, move their bowels on the arena floor and it has to stop the act, that drummer gets to work. It gets to work. Because he's got to fill the time. The crew's got to get out there and clean it up. They got to do what they got to, and then they get back to work. You know, it's an action-packed show, and then there's the pre-show that happens, the Star Seekers Early Access that happens 1 hour before the show, where you get to actually see behind the magic. And in many of our venues, we have a animal open house, so you can actually come in and you can see the animals, you can meet their trainers, you can meet their handlers, and really learn about how they're cared for and the process and that, and really learn about the plight of animals in the wild all over the world and what our conservation efforts, how we're countering that with our conservation efforts.
So let me ask a question. So when you're here until how long?
Until November 27th.
All right, so until November 27th. So now we've gotten kind of all the show business out of the way. I want to talk about kind of give our people some insight as to what goes on in the circus. And I'm going to tell just a little bit about how we got to know each other. So, ladies and gentlemen, way back in probably about 2000, 1999, 2000, something like that, my sister and I were operating a small marketing company. Hey, what's up? Chauncey was with us too, and Ringling Brothers decided that they wanted to reach out to the black community, and so they were searching for a marketing agency. And they have a good friend of mine, Adam Mell, told all the big bosses from Ringling Brothers they just had to stop by and meet this small little agency. I think they were on their way to go meet Burrell and sign a big contract, and they said they were going to stop by for like 30 minutes. Our air conditioning went out that day. It was like maybe 200 degrees, and we have the whole super team of the Ringling Brothers marketing, and I just remember Amy Dubinsky at the time, I think her name was LaWinter at the time, Amy coming in, and we were really just selling her on the process, and this half hour that we got wound up being 3 hours. And that 3-hour meeting, at the time we were representing Rockefeller Records, Coca-Cola, Sprite, but we could not fathom the concept of representing the circus, because we were always the kids. You know, when we were kids, we used to go to the circus all the time, but we used to get the discount passes. Right? So we would go to the circus. Now, if you're out there and you've gone to the circus, and black folks, y'all know what it's like to go to the circus and get the discount passes, but the discount passes are way up in the sky, so you can never get the clowns that are kicking it with the people on the street. You always like, man, I'm happy to go to the circus, but boy, I sure wish I could be down there, right? And I remember talking to them, and they genuinely wanted to understand our community, and I just remember saying, whatever we do, when we give away the tickets, when we give away the community pass, I don't care what it is, we have to make sure that the seats are close enough so that the kids could experience the circus. And I'll never forget, Amy was like, that makes so much sense. Mm-hmm. And so we came up with this program, and I just remember the first time that we gave out the passes, and the kids got the passes, and they were used to going up, and instead of going up, they came down. And they got close, and then we were throwing parties. We threw these amazing parties where we gave black kids from different walks of life the opportunity to experience it, because, you know, a lot of kids haven't been to the circus. Right. Quite frankly, now when we were coming up, there was only a few family entertainment. You got the Ice Capades, right. You got the circus, and you might get a Sesame Street Live. Right? But if you didn't get those, that was it. Yeah. And now there's all these options, and so many of our kids never got the opportunity. And I just remember after our first run in Chicago, Ringling Brothers was the first people to actually hire us and pay us almost $1 million to market the brand. So for our company, and you know what? One of the things that we noticed was that they were so loyal, right? Yeah. And if they were with you, they were with you. And we've been with them since then, hell and high water, thick and thin. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have a special place in my heart for Feld Entertainment and for Ringling Brothers. No, seriously, because when they made the commitment to get in and to market to our community, they got in. They didn't, you know, most people were nickel and diming me like, hey, man, we got $250. What can you do with that? You know what We want you to deliver the entire black community, and we got about, how about 1,000?
What can I get for you?
And you know what? They were one of the first companies to really take our company and what we did seriously, and they put us on the road. And I remember we were on the road in every country, in every city around, and we would pop up everywhere. We had a street team. We took kids from the hood, trained them at clown school, and then put them on the road and sent them all over the country. Let me just tell y'all this. If we could have recorded that and made it a reality TV show, can you imagine how rich we would have been with kids from the hood riding around tour buses around the country? So, Johnathan, tell us about, how did you get, seriously, how did you get to the circus? How does a black, where are you from?
New York City.
New York? Okay.
Yeah.
What part of New York?
Right in Manhattan. Upper West Side.
So, how does a brother from New York City get to the circus? I used to talk about running away to the circus. Right. You actually did it. What happened?
Yeah, it's not that hard. I had just graduated college, and I was a bit all over the place. I was actually really saving money so I could go to Europe and further my studies. I went to college to study opera. I was going to be an opera singer. And that's still on the table, fortunately. I didn't bust my voice.
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, we already said, how does a brother get from New York City to the circus? But when we rewind, how does a brother get to the opera?
Exposure. I was in the Boys Choir of Harlem when I was 11 years old. I joined that group, and it was a life changer for me. I already had a wonderful childhood, but my mother, what she admitted to me later was she didn't want to pay for private school anymore, so she needed to put me somewhere where I would get that sort of attention. And so the Boys Choir of Harlem came up, and I always wanted to travel, so I went to the audition. It was around the Christmas season of, I think, 88, 87, something like that. And I got in, and I was very naive because I thought, this is like church choir. You just get in and you're like, I'll be on a plane next week. Nah. It was really the hardest 18 months of my childhood. I didn't know I had to work that hard. I had to work hard, and it was no substitute, man. My teacher, the founder and director, Dr. Walter J. Turnbull, who founded the late great Dr. Walter J. Turnbull, himself an accomplished musician. The guy took no mess. It was really a great breeding ground. Music was the vehicle to really usher us into manhood, and I wanted to quit every other day for those 18 months. My mother was like, nah, you going back. And by chance, I ended up performing after all what seemed like a million rehearsals and getting nowhere and what have you. But finally, I started performing. And I was about 13, and that's when life really started to accelerate with the Boys Choir. I went to Japan, which was like, till this day, I get goosebumps thinking about it because it was my first real major tour with the choir, and it was such a beautiful place to visit, and that's where I knew I was going to be a performer because I'd run into the great Placido Domingo, who I didn't know. I didn't know him from Ham Sandwich, but my voice was changing then, and so an older gentleman who was in the choir, because they would hire adults to come in and buffer the tenor and bass section.
Okay.
And he came up to me and he said, listen, I want you to come in here what a real tenor sounds like. And it was Placido Domingo, live. And they introduced him. We were at this concert for Ronald Reagan. And
imagine that.
Yeah. And I stood there, I swear, it blew my mind. It blew my mind. I couldn't believe the human voice could do that. And I was like, that's it. That's what I want to do. And I was hooked, and it was great. The great thing about it was I was already in an environment that already encouraged my individuality. it wasn't a weird thing for me to want to do that because we were already studying Mozart and Bach, and we didn't see them as, like, I never saw Mozart any better than I saw Duke Ellington. That's how I was taught,
okay.
Or Earth, Wind, and Fire. It was just music. It was great music, and so we could see and interrelate. To me, it was just different expressions of whatever they wanted. I didn't see one as above the other, and that's how we were taught, and that was really emphasized, and I appreciated that from the founder of the choir. He wanted to put that in us so we wouldn't get, you know how some of our folks get this idea that because it's classical music that it has some sort of reference. Because a lot of that stuff is, if you really study some of it, I mean, it comes from, some of it's actually raunchy, some of it's actually silly. Some of it is you're really just saying the same things we're saying. They were just saying it in a different way. And that was wonderful to learn. And then I went off to college on scholarship to the Hart School of Music.
Which is at what school?
University of Hartford in Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh, Lord.
And that was great.
And so how did you, what I'm trying to figure out is, how does a brother get from Placido Domingo, okay, hold on, let's rewind, let's do this right. So how does a brother get from New York to Placido Domingo to the circus?
Exposure. You give people access with expectations, and the sky's the limit. And I didn't know the different doors that would open up. It's just about giving, and that's I tell people this all the time, if you just give folks a chance, but you can't just give them a chance. You have to have expectations with it. I mean, the boys' choir was an excellent place, but it wasn't for everybody. I knew kids, and I know guys right now, spending life in prison. They went to the same countries I did, performed on the same glorious stages, and still fell back into the streets. Some died before their time. You have to have those expectations. So, coupled with my mother, who's an activist mother, she was always the head of some PTA somewhere, and she'll make you blush. You talk about what's in it for black people. Yeah, I grew up with that all day, and she's wonderful, man. And coupled with that, and what I was being taught in the Boys Choir of Harlem, and having those expectations along with the access, really is what pushed me out. And it's funny because when I got in college, I had those freshman jitters where I was like, I don't know if I really want to do this. I was majoring in voice performance.
It's tough, bro.
Yeah.
It is, you know what, and I want to take a moment because I think it has to be tough to, first of all, it's tough for a black man going to college, probably because you're not surrounded with a lot of people that come from the same place. But even if that be the case, getting to college and trying to figure out your way, and then to say you're going to be you majored in what?
Voice performance.
Right. Like, I know your mom was like, now boy, what you gonna do for a real job?
No, my mother, ironically, my mother was fine with that. In fact, she was the one who insisted, listen, you stick with what you are. Because she's like, you don't know what doors are gonna open. It's not your place to really worry about that. My mother was more the idealist. My father, on the other hand, who was an immigrant from Trinidad, he was pragmatic. He was very, what you gonna do with that? You can't get nothing singing, and he was trying to give me. He was a firefighter, so he was trying to give me applications to be a Port Authority police officer and all this stuff. I was like, it's not my thing. But look, eventually it worked out,
right?
And that was really the great lesson for me, to really stick to what I was about. And and it's funny because I just had this epiphany because what you were saying, considering the fact all these things you have to manage as a black male in America, you have so much to manage. It's fascinating to me how, in a lot of ways, I think having an activist mother, a praying mother, I think really buffered me against a lot of things. Like my identity or my sense of self-worth was so set that by the time I really started getting off into the world, whatever you were going to try to, whatever roadblocks you were going to try to put up there in the little games people would play, they just had no effect.
That's what I'm talking about.
They had no effect. Yeah, you know, I was conditioned. You know, and I really credit my mother with a lot of that. Like, I didn't get what she was doing when I was younger because I took it for granted because I just thought that's what you did. But she just really would just pump me, and she would just, you know, look, I heard Louis Farrakhan say this about his mother. She would just pour blackness on me. Mm. That's the best way I can explain it. And I didn't get it. I used to kind of think she was off. But then when I got older, I said, wow, I got what she was doing.
And I'm going to stop you right there. You are tuned in to the MazeSaid video podcast right here at WWW Intellectual Radio. We are an iHeart radio station. I am going to take a moment because we have Johnathan, you have brought us a very new and diverse audience. So I want to take a moment to say what's up to some of the people that are out here saying what's up to you, okay? Then when we come back, you are going to tell me how in the heck did you become the ringmaster for the Circus? I mean, where were they at? What were they saying? Now, let me do my thing. I'm going to say what's up to the people that are out here. Now, Stephen M. Hall says, you got to give him a shout out to the people that feed you. What's up with that, man? To the people that feed you, man. Now, I have been to the chow cart.
Yes,
right. The chow cart. The pie cart. That's the pie cart. The pie cart is off the chain. We're going to talk about how you live. Y'all don't know this brother lives on the train, coast to coast. Cheryl Phelps, Boo-Highs? I'm not exactly sure how to say that. What's up, Bendy Castro? Shout out to Jamar. Jamar, the crunk, what is the clown of crunk? That's my man, Jamar.
Yes, my man.
Remember Jamar?
Man.
I seen Jamar on the road. What's up in Chi-Town? What's up, Nate Eisenberg? Kunta Kinte. Laura Elizabeth Glenn. What's up, Tennille? Hey, how you doing out there? John Paul, Dalton Sexton. What's up with you as well? Now, John Paul, we still want some tickets to go see the... he's doing rugby now. He's out of the NBA. All right, Johnathan. So... we took a little break there. What's up to everybody? Now, can I get you all to do me a favor? I need for you all to take a moment to share the broadcast. Can you just reach up there? Oh, I'm down. No, it's for me. I got to go like this, right? Can you just hit the button and share the broadcast? Take a moment, share the broadcast, share the broadcast. We want everybody to hear Jonathan's wonderful story. So, Johnathan.
Yes.
You're leaving college. You walk down the street and... they're like, hey, you, big guy, I heard you can sing. They said you can sing. What? So how does Johnathan Lee Iverson become the ringmaster of the greatest show on earth?
By accident. I was auditioning for a dinner theater out in Wisconsin, actually, for the Fireside Dinner Theater. And,
the Fireside Dinner Theater. This sounds like a movie.
Yeah, Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. It's run by a wonderful family, the Klopsick family. It's a family-owned business. It's a beautiful place, too. Very quaint little town. Very nice people. Wonderful people. And this is like their big Christmas show every year. And I don't know, I had an agent at the time who sent me on the audition. And I went in there, and Phil McKinley of Illinois, who was the director of the Fireside, was also directing Ringling Brothers. And so after my audition for the Fireside, which I did really well, someone called...
Did you get the job?
Yeah, I got that job. And then I got a call about Ringling Brothers looking for a ringmaster. And they wanted to put me amongst the candidates to try it out. And I thought, well, yeah, why not? I thought it was kind of a strange call. It sounded like somebody from the CIA.
Seriously. Did you think it was Nephew Tommy?
Probably.
I would have thought it was Nephew Tommy. Like, man, you lying.
I did think it was a practical joke at first. I was like, huh? Like, of course I knew who Ringling Brothers was, but it's like, this is just so... I said, yeah, sure, whatever. You know, I was looking for work. You know, I was fresh out of college. I said, why not? I'll try it out. It sounds like a great pickup line. I'm a ringmaster. So it was about 30 other candidates that were up for the role, and the audition process was rather intense, and but you know, I mean, the rest is history, really. I mean, I auditioned, had my initial audition for it, and then I had a callback, and then they recorded the audition, and then the late great Tim Holst, who was basically the talent scout, and he had to come out and verify the audition and the whole bit, and I had an interview with him, and then they just hired me.
Now, was the intent to hire a black ringmaster, or were you just the man?
You know, I have no idea. And it's funny, I have no idea. I've heard people say, you know, wow, you know, maybe that's what they wanted to do. I know the show I started in was a very expensive show. It was a very expensive show.
You know, they always give the brothers the expensive show.
But see, you know, listen, these folks are smart now. And so, you know, it was mentioned to me that, well, you know, you're the first black person we've ever hired in this position. And so the press in that was maddening. It was amazing. It was a lot of press, man. I was doing interviews like every day. I was flying somewhere every week after the show run, which was very intense. And it was like running for office. And it was a lot of fun. And I really learned about the media. I mean, Ringling Brothers, when they, like you said, they go all in. This is a first-rate company. And so I was trained, I had media training with just a fabulous woman by the name of Barbara Flukehout, who is the greatest publicist anyone could have. This woman is just pure gold. She was always honest with me.
Yes.
I mean, she took me through the ringer in a good way. She really mothered me through the science of media, how to really position a story, how to really take over an interview, and you know, the power of, you know, words and really learning, you know, what sound bites really are about, that you don't really have to get into it, you know. And she knew me, you know, I have an activist heart, I have all that stuff. She taught me to basically cut the fat out and just get to the message and really know how to really portray yourself. And that was, I mean, those lessons have been priceless for me even till now, 18 years later. I learned stuff like that. And I mean, there are a lot of things you just learn on the go, because circus is a living, breathing craft. And it's not something you really can just learn in a school somewhere. It's why you have families who pass it on, their talents on from generation to generation to generation. And it has a sacredness to it. And so it's one of those things, you know, I didn't learn how to be a ringmaster. It was like, they kind of threw me in the ocean. It was like, swim. And fortunately, I learned, you know.
A lot of brothers can't swim. A lot of brothers can't swim, so I'm glad
I didn't drown.
you survived.
I didn't drown.
I would have been doggy paddling. You ain't gonna get me.
A couple of waves almost got me, but it's been a great experience. I mean, there's nothing like experience, man. Nothing like it. I mean, you go to school to learn, you get in life to get burned. And, you know, I had my burns, I had my bumps and scrapes, and I really feel like such a professional year after year, because there's always something to learn. There's always something more to this.
So, what is it, the day in the life of a ringmaster?
The unexpected. I mean, for me in particular.
Okay, stop. 8 o'clock in the morning. You get up and what?
If I get up at 8 o'clock. You know, it's
so let me just be clear, ladies and gentlemen. So there is a hierarchy. Now I'm letting y'all in on a secret. There's a hierarchy in the circus, and at the top of the food chain is the elephants and Johnathan. Right now, the elephants are gone, which means that Johnathan is the main man. The world kind of revolves around the ringmaster, right?
I wish it was true.
Okay.
But the thing I figured out with the circus, which I think makes it work, which I think society can learn from, is when you get down to it, circus comes from the Latin root for circle. And the reason why we work so well, I think, is because everybody knows their position, everybody knows their spot. And we're not under any illusions about who does what. But what we understand is we're so interdependent on the other. So the person driving my float, to me, everybody has their own iconic contribution. The person sweeping up that dung, you know, if they don't get it out at the right time, somebody may get hurt.
Man, and you know what? I was thinking about that. You can't really tick the guy off that's cleaning up the horse stuff, because you could really learn a bad lesson.
Yeah, right. I mean, everybody.
And it does make sense. You can't be mad at the person at the bottom. Can you imagine being mad at the person you got to catch him on the trapeze? Dang, that is true.
You see? It's all interdependent, and I think that's why it's worked for so long. I mean, like my man Steve Hall said, the people who are making our food, it's just I wouldn't even call it a team. It's just, I mean, the world is round, and it's really respecting the dignity of your neighbor, and whoever and everybody. It doesn't matter what capacity you're in. It really doesn't matter. Everybody know. Okay, obviously the guy working the floor isn't going to enjoy certain accolades that I do, but that does not reduce him. Because the fact is, I can't do what I do. The trapeze artists can't do what they do. Alexander Lacey and his Lions and Tigers, they can't do what they do without that crew. And the crew has no work if there's no performance. So it's all it's interchangeable, and it's all interconnected. And I think that's why it works so well. And that's why you can get so many different people together without driving each other completely crazy.
Cool. So, what does a day look like? Give it to me. You gotta give it to me the whole day. Run through.
My day is expect the unexpected.
How many shows a day, man? Come on.
On a Saturdays is 3.
3 shows. How long is each show?
Each show is 2 hours. 2 hours and some change.
How many times you gotta change clothes?
This tour only twice.
Okay. And how much of the 2 hours are you actually on the floor?
Basically 2 hours. I'm on. If I had to say a time, I have to say a good hour and 45 minutes.
Favorite part of the show? What's the favorite part of being the Ringmaster?
Oh, favorite part of being the Ringmaster is being the Ringmaster. I mean, you're the voice. You're the voice of an American icon. And, you're the voice of the world's greatest artist. And there's not, I think, I'm a glorified fan who gets paid to dress well. That's all.
So, Johnathan, the circus in a lot of other countries is a tradition, right? Like families and generations and generations. You are raising your family on the circus, in the circus.
Yeah.
How does that work? Tell me what your life is like. I mean, how do you raise kids? How do you keep them connected? Do they go to school? You guys are on the road how many days a year? You live on a train.
Yeah.
How does that work? And, how does that work for you as a nuclear family in America?
Look, I think it's ideal, to be honest with you.
Really?
Our train, where we live, me and my family live, this is
this is the juice.
This is where the hierarchy does come in. We do live in the suburbs on the train.
Okay.
We have a wonderful train car where they actually custom made it for us when I was coming back.
That's
it's
gangster,
myself,
just in
my
case y'all don't know. He has a custom built train car for him and his family.
It's wonderful, man. I mean, it's the best way to see the country, I think, is by the rails. And it's a beautiful country. My children do go to school. They have 4 hours of school a day, but it's all year round. They have field trips to Envy. And that's coupled with my son's job. So, he'll have to step out of school for a bit, come do his job, and go back, make up that time, the whole bit.
Really?
Yeah, they have it set up. It's all by law. Like, he actually sat there, I sat him down through the contract negotiations and all the papers he had to sign, and we went through that. And I told him, I said, now, his actual performance in school is connected to his job. So I told him, I said, you fall behind in your job, in your schooling, your job is gone. And I showed him the paperwork too, which blew his. So he's been doing really well in school.
Because I want that chop.
Yeah, my wife she makes Wonder Woman look lazy. She worked her way up to where she is. She started out as a dancer.
She started out as a dancer.
Yeah. She started out as a dancer. She's always been a leader. When I met her in 2000, she was the dance captain. She was a translator from Brazil, and they already identified in her that she could manage rather well. So they would always give her assignments, staging, or what have you. And they even created a position for her at one point. And soon they started grooming her on the staff, and so she was an associate production manager. And about 2 years ago, she became a production manager. And so I call her my Queen Bee. She's Queen Bee of the whole show, And she's wonderful, man. I mean, she's like my Claire Huxtable, man. She gets her own respect. I can't believe her energy because she'll still get up. It's amazing. She'll get up. She'll still get up, cook our meals, take care of the kids' clothes, breakfast, and is out for work. You know, my daughter, who is half Beyonce, half Elsa from Frozen, she's always fabulous, and rightfully so. She's grown up around fabulous women. She's grown up around women who are executives, daredevils, dancers, managers like her mother. So she has this way about her where she can take it for granted that, you know, women can lead and run industry. And so she's now my son's understudy. We've been practicing every week.
Does she get paid too?
She'll be getting paid, yeah.
Good Lord. You know what? Let me just, one more time. I'm going to say that the one thing that really just sticks out to me about Feld Entertainment, the Felds, their family, that the Ringling brothers, the Feld organization, is their loyalty and their commitment to their teammates and their family. I have seen them bend over backwards to accommodate their team members because they truly believe that their employees are valuable. And I think it's awesome that they've got your whole entire family. That's a what's in it for the black people moment, right? Really.
Yes, yes, it
that's
is.
A what's, and I mean, you are. So let me stop. I'm gonna stop bragging on Feld because they are one of my favorite companies. Johnathan, so now, how does this work for you? So now what? What is it? So this show? Yeah. Things are changing, right? So as the world is changing, this is the first year you guys are without elephants.
Yeah.
Peter, you suck. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Okay. But they do. They suck.
Yeah.
The elephants were always such an awesome thing. And, you see all the negative stuff, but I always felt like Feld went above and beyond. Yeah. And quite frankly, were part of the reasons that we are able to preserve elephants. What is the world like without elephants?
It's funny. People have come to the show and they're like, wow, I didn't even think about the elephants once. Okay. The main thing for us when we decided to retire them, it really was an issue of conservation. It only makes sense that our opponents would spin it. That's their thing. That's how they fundraise. And who can blame them? But the reality is we won $25 million settlements from them regarding that. So it wasn't on them. The reality is we're actually into cancer research right now, which is a major thing. We have a wonderful oncologist by the name of Dr. Joshua Schiffman and others in his team out in Salt Lake City, Utah, who have been working on trying to come up with treatments to basically cure cancer. And what do elephants have to do with that? Well, with elephants, in every human being you have what's called the P53 gene. Okay. Some of us are born with it. Some of us, for some reason, may just have one or none at all. The P53 gene, which the average human has two, it's really a cancer fighter. So what it does first is it'll take a cancer cell and try to fix it. If it can, it'll just kill it. Elephants have over 40 of those.
Oh, wow.
And so what they're basically trying to see is how they can synthesize that and put it into human beings. And so we just so happen to have the largest herd of Asian elephants in the Western Hemisphere, and we have the widest range of a diverse gene pool for them to work with. And so our elephants they're basking in the sunshine of Florida at a 200-acre preserve.
I'm still trying to get an opportunity.
Yeah, you have to go. You have to
go. So everybody out there watching, to all my Feld family, I'm still trying to get to the conservation center and see the conservation program.
You gotta go, man. It's so beautiful, and
somebody make that happen for me, please.
They're surrounded by just top tier animal trainers, top tier animal scientists, and we've been really leading on the forefront of elephant conservation. 96 elephants are killed every day in the wild due to poaching, habitat loss, you name it. And so when you have organizations like Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey that are doing the great work of keeping the species alive, it needs to be commended. But again, you know, America is the land of opportunity, and so you'll have opportunists, you know, who'll spin it for whatever they want to. But at the end of the day, I think truth wins out. I think the cancer research is something that's really going to be a wonderful thing, and I hope it works out. I mean, it's something that, of course, I'm not that scientifically literate. When I found out about the research, it was heartwarming, you know, because we visit hospitals a lot. We visit these hospitals. We go out into the community a lot, shelters and food kitchens and children's hospitals, and to see those families and the patients and the courage they display and how they are. It's just wonderful, man. It's so encouraging. And I think, you know, I think this research will bear some good fruit, I hope.
I'm looking forward to it. So, Johnathan, what do you do in your time off? I mean, first of all, when do you get, how many days are you on the road a year?
I'm on the road usually 11 months out of the year.
And so then, I mean, 11 months.
Yeah. On my time off, man, I'm like a bear. I hibernate. My wife wants to do everything, and I don't know how, because she's like one of the hardest working women in show business. I mean, she's always doing something. And, you know, she's one, like, I wouldn't go anywhere. It would just be me, books, and a pen somewhere if it wasn't her. Like, she'll go and tour the city and whatever, because today, like, this is our day off, one of our rare days off, and her sister flew in from Brazil, and so they've been running all over Chicago. Me, I love sleep. I love sleep, and I love DVR films that I've saved up for the week, and I want to watch them.
What's your favorite shows, man?
Oh,
what do you watch? Like, do you all watch TV? Do you get to watch TV?
Yeah, you know,
watch TV on the
Netflix,
train,
man. I'm gonna tell you, my wife and I, we started off our first guilty pleasure was House of Cards.
Man.
Then Luke Cage.
Woo! What you know about Luke Cage? I'm still not through it. The intern borrowed my password and watched it all. And now I can't remember which show I'm on because he done put all the check marks on it.
I'm like a fiend for season 2, man. I loved it. It was so brilliantly done, and I love Alfred Woodard in it, man. She's so wicked.
I love her.
I love her anyway, but I mean, I've never seen her like this before, and I really enjoy seeing her in this type of role. And I love, I mean, and here's a what's in it for black people moment. Look, I love seeing us in these various different ways, you know, where we can be devious and smart and conniving, and I love it. I love seeing that. Right now I'm watching The Crown. That's a new Netflix series. It's loosely based on Queen Elizabeth's life.
Okay, I'm going to have to check that out. I'm going to have to check that out. All right, what last book?
Oh, the last book I read, James Baldwin, by Ian Leming, I want to say is his name. It was a biography on James Baldwin. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful book. It was a beautiful book, and it really gave me a wonderful insight into his life. And so, I don't know, I was just drawn to it, especially in this day and age. And, you know, and it really, I mean, it hit home because it was like, I didn't realize, like, he really had a mindset, like, his art was his responsibility. Like, he really felt that way, according to this biography, you know, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And I'm definitely going to have to pick up some of his work because, as we know, a lot of it is relevant, more so now than ever. A lot of it is very prophetic. So, yeah, James Baldwin's, it was James Baldwin biography by a gentleman by the name of Ian Leming, I believe.
I got 2 minutes. Favorite cities besides New York and Chicago?
Oh, man, I love Denver.
I like Denver, too. I'm trying to get there very, very, very soon.
Yeah, I love Denver. I love Salt Lake City, Utah. It's underrated. I love
Salt Lake City. I've heard it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and it's underrated. It's really underrated. It's a lot of fun out there. Of course, I love Las Vegas. I think that's better.
And I got to stop us right there because we are out of time. That hour flew by. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching Mr. Johnathan Lee Iverson, Ringmaster of the greatest show on earth, Ringling Brothers and Barnum & Bailey Circus, here until the 27th. If you have not gotten your tickets, get your tickets at the United Center. We will be there until the 27th. Also, catch Johnathan and the Ringling Brothers in the Great Thanksgiving Day Parade.
That's right, this Thursday.
Tune in, Channel 7. Channel 7 will be tuned in. It's your man, Maze Jackson's The MazeSaid Video Show. We are out. Peace. Look at that. And we, no, hold on. See? We did it all, and we didn't even say nothing bad. That much. Okay? Nothing bad. Nothing bad. Nothing bad.
You were nervous?
Peace. Everybody breathe easy. Look, hold on. Let me stop the camera. What's up, brother? All right, I'm going to stop the camera right now.